I remember the last time you were here, you were like, you never told us what you were doing, but you're like, I have big plans. And then when I saw you enter, I said, no, look at the girl. Look at the girl. Look at the girl. I tell you, she have big plans. And meeting say a restaurant, she go, no.
It kind of sneaky.
Yeah, it was very sneaky, but like, I think we were all just so proud of you, definitely. Like, for just taking that step. My name is Tiana.
And I'm Ashley.
And this is WongaGyal, the podcast, your favorite Caribbean food culture podcast.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Back again, episode 2. What is season 3?
Season 3, episode 2. We are here.
Hope you guys enjoyed episode 1. I was told that it has a lot of information in there.
Yeah. People seem to really enjoy episode 1, and we're really appreciative of the support.
I think we just spoke about Oxtail for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, we really did. It was a love-hate letter to Oxtail, really and truly.
An ode to Oxtail and its prices.
And I think a lot of people could relate. So yeah, thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for all the comments. Big up. Who for big up? You know, big up. We can call some name. Big up Gio from Cookroms.
Big up Graham.
Big up Graham. Big up Kerry, big up Tiana, not me Tiana, the other Tiana. Big up Andre.
And then everybody else who name we forget for call, but we know you guys are always listening and reposting for us. We actually really appreciate all the promotion, because I'm sure that's how, you know, people know about us. Everybody just repost whenever we post like a promo. It's very nice. It's very heartwarming.
Yeah, so thanks guys. Thanks a lot. So today we're joined by a very, very, very special guest.
And a special friend.
Yeah,
we're friend with Miss Jamaica World, I believe. I should just come out with it.
Just come out!
No suspense. Make it clear.
So, of course, she was here last season because, of course, back then she was the Shibumi boss. But no, Shibumi boss turned Miss Jamaica World.
A little upgrade.
Change for a little bit. So, you know, we had to bring her back and just get some, you know, updates on her life and what's been going on, especially as it relates to her ventures in food. And, you know, we'll talk more about Khalia's relationship with food as it pertains to her Miss Jamaica World.
Her beauty with a purpose.
Her beauty with a purpose. That's her purpose. So yes, welcome. Hello, Khalia. Hello.
Thank you for having me again. I said it before, no, it feels good to be here. I'm happy. We're friends, you know, we're high school friends. I feel like we can have very open and honest and just fun conversations.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah.
So how have things been, you know, like how would you say things have changed for you since you've gotten this awesome title?
Something I tell people is the opportunities I have now. So people I might not have been able to have conversations with before, or maybe I would have, but it would have been more difficult to have a footing. And
networking,
also,
really big networking opportunity.
Definitely. I mean, the other day I was working with Christopher Tufton, which is amazing.
Ooh, big up Minister Tufton.
Big up the Minister of
the man who did tell we must grow, we eat and eat what we grow.
Yeah.
Big up Dr. Tufton, who get featured on this podcast so often, clearly, because we say that in every episode.
Yeah.
You've spoken about him before?
Yeah.
No,
because
he was very integral in like agricultural changes in Jamaica in recent years, because he was minister. I don't remember what year, but
he was minister of agriculture one time, no?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think he's the one who started, and correct me if I'm wrong, but
no,
I'm sure he started
Eat what you grow. Yeah, so Minister Tufton.
As a matter of fact,
if you ever wanna,
because I know you're very big on food and wellness kind of go together, you know. So
and culture.
There we go.
You know.
No, he's great though. I feel like the fact that he works with Heart Foundation of Jamaica, which has no private interest, they're all for the public, and he works very closely with them. Just it goes to show that the man has.
Honestly, we don't want to veer too far, but what I've noticed since he's been like Minister of Health and Wellness, he's very big on, you know, making an example, you know, he promotes all of these things, but he does it himself for people to follow him, and it's not just about COVID, which I think he did a good job at with, despite the fact that Jamaican people are so unruly.
Even with just like Jamaica Moves.
Jamaica Moves is, you know, he's focusing on the things that Jamaicans really don't take important, like, you know, non-communicable diseases, which something that people have.
Mental illness too.
And when we think about it, I won't say his foundation, but his past experience being Minister of Agriculture and using food as a link to our wellness, I think it's very important, and it's a conversation to be had to say, you know, what we consume and how it affects our wellness, not just physically but mentally and emotionally, which I think is something that Minister Tufton is big on. So we'll have to big him up, you know.
And he does practice what he preaches.
Yeah, man, that man run.
Yeah.
That man run.
And run. Wake up early in the morning.
He is Jamaica Moves.
Next thing is the platform that I have, meaning literally overnight, everybody was suddenly interested in what I had to say, you know, what were my beliefs on things and whatever content I'm sharing. And I think that's so powerful. You can either have that and make it go to waste and just, I'm sorry, but you know, just post pretty pictures, or you can use it and share very useful information that we're not taught in school. And that's what I'm trying to do. It's information I think everybody needs to know, and it blows my mind that we don't know it around health, and trying to do it in a creative way to kind of like draw people in.
Alright, so before we even get there,
like,
before we even get to after, let's talk about before. Like, Khalia, I remember the last time you were here, you were like, you never told us what you were doing, but you're like, I have big plans. And then when I saw you enter, I said, no, look at the girl. Look at the girl. I talk about she have big plans and meeting say a restaurant. She go, no.
It kind of sneaky.
Yeah, it was very sneaky, but like, I think we were all just so proud of you, like, for just taking that step. Because, you know, I feel like just from knowing you for so long, like, it was nice. I feel like it was something out of your comfort zone, you know. And I think just as your friends, and I feel like as a year group, champion, like, you were a unifying factor for all of us, and that was so nice. But what was even more, and I'm gonna ask you if there is story to this. So we know that you were Miss General Foods, right? So when I saw that you were Miss General Foods, I was like, guys, I don't know nothing about pageantry. I'm 4'11", I will never know anything about pageantry. But
I was surprised by how much you knew before we started recording.
Well, there you go. But so, like, was it a conscious effort that you ended up being Miss General Foods, or was it just a coincidence? Because, I mean, you were here before on the podcast because you were a Shibumi boss, because you have a interest in food and health and wellness, and then I feel like even before you won the competition, you were already in alignment with your interests based on your sponsor. Like, was that on purpose or was that coincidental?
Pure purpose. So we didn't even choose our sponsors. They had sponsors. Miss Jamaica World has sponsors, and they pair you up with.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought you have to go and do things on your own and go find somebody if you get good money.
Maybe in the past. I'm sure in the past it was like that. But for my year, that's how it was. But maybe the organizers, because they knew my interest, so that maybe they
there was a little push in that direction. Okay, cool.
But yeah, no, they were a great sponsor. I still keep in touch with them to this day. I'm sure if I ever want to partner up with them to do something, they'd be open.
Because you did do something at General Foods, but was that during the pageantry or after you won? And I can't remember. You did like a pop-up there.
There was a Shibumi pop-up at General Foods once upon a time, right?
It was between winning Miss Jamaica World and going to Puerto Rico.
Yes.
To raise money for mustard seed.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Beauty with a purpose, people.
There it is. There's a purpose right here.
Cool. Okay, so I guess my next question then would be, tell us about, I guess just in your own words, tell us about your purpose. Because I know everyone within the Miss Jamaica World pageant, and I don't know if in Miss World pageant as well, but I know everyone kind of has a little project that they're working on to give back to the community, right? So I guess just tell us about, you know, what you were doing before and how that has maybe even gotten bigger now that you have won. You know, yeah, just tell us about that some more, you know?
So I called my initiative Heal. I wanted something, you know, catchy that people, when they heard, they would, you know, link it to my Beauty with a Purpose. So my Beauty with a Purpose was called Heal, which stands, you don't know why we're laughing, which stands for Healthy Eating as a Lifestyle.
I love that.
Healthy eating
Right?
as a
Because the heel also represents
That's
something.
what it is, though. That's what you're healing yourself by having a healthy lifestyle. Wow,
Exactly.
that's beautiful.
Thank you. But yeah, that was what I was doing, and then the whole General Foods mustard seed was a part of that because they really approached us. It was COVID times. Mustard seed did not have basic necessities like tissue, toothpaste, food. You know, the children didn't have that.
And we can plug something right here, guys. Mustard Seed is one of the charities in Jamaica that cares for, I think it's, which area of the population that they mostly cater to? Mustard Seed. Is it elderly? Or
No,
is it
children.
Yes, children.
Yeah.
But we have so many charities across Jamaica where people can just contribute to, you know, if you have something to give, there is really and truly no harm in doing so, and they're in need. So whenever you guys can, you should look into what charities are available. Give back to the country that gives so much to you.
Yeah,
For sure. But I think because it was COVID and so many people had lost jobs or you know didn't have for themselves, it was difficult to give back, and so
Agreed.
I wanted to tie the food into giving back. You know, I could have just collected money from Greece, and which I did as well.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I wanted to use food to give back to them, and it was also a way. I think food is so powerful, which is why I love it so much. I could cook and share something with people.
Likewise.
Yeah. No. And what I do, especially with plant-based food, is like I can open people's perspectives, raise money, and give back all in one. So
You see,
it was
powerful. You hear
powerful.
me say she lists 3 things a while ago, you know?
Powerful.
that is why this podcast exists.
Spokesperson for the WongaGyal podcast.
So after you did that collab with General Foods and Shibumi as your company for Mustard Seed, how much further do you want to take initiatives like that now that you have this title and you spoke so much about your platform, which we know it's true. We know that the Miss Jamaica World creates a space for you to have a voice and to probably speak on behalf of people who don't. So is that something that you want to keep, meaning the HEAL initiative?
Of course, yes. So I am currently doing that on a personal level through social media, as you've all seen.
Yes, we've seen the weekly posts.
By the
We
way,
love them.
follow Khalia on social media to keep up with HEAL at Khalia_Hall. Miss Jamaica World 2020.
2021.
2021.
So I've started something on the heel. I've started something called Wellness Wednesdays.
Yeah, we've seen the posts.
Hashtag
We love
Wellness
them.
Wednesday.
You guys should tune in though. Very good tips. Very
Yeah.
good recipes
I
actually.
love it. I must say, I also love that you're doing that too, because I feel like, Khalia, I just feel so proud. Like,
Yeah, me too.
like I feel like you really just stepped, because I feel like before this you were not even really on social media. Like,
No, to be honest, the only piece of social media we would see Khalia on is when she's promoting Shibumi and when the menu drop. I mean, every now and again she drop a one video, but now seeing the content every week, I feel
like
so much more connected to you. Obviously, not outside of the friendship, and it just made my heart swell.
you're just blossoming, girl, like a nice ripe mango. I love it. I love it. I love
It
it.
means a lot, you know, because before I committed to doing this weekly, because I'm sure you guys know when you're committing to something like podcasting, you try to stick to a schedule. It's the same for me. You know, sometimes things slip up and I have to very last minute pull something together.
Yeah.
I was hesitant about how people would respond to it because I think food is touchy. I've said this before, you know, it's like I wasn't sure how to like give people advice around food. You don't want to necessarily be pointing fingers.
Very true.
And saying you should and you know what you can and can't eat and good and bad. So a lot of thought went into it, like the type of content I wanted to create to draw people in and make them excited. That's what I try to do. It's like making healthy eating and living fun and exciting, and not like, oh Lord, this again.
Yeah.
But it's been great to hear people's feedback. Like, this warms my heart. Some, you know, people keep saying it like, oh, I love your videos. I look out for them every week. So, so it means a lot to you.
Yeah.
And you know, even as you said, people are very touchy with food. I think there's a lot of judgment when it comes down to people's food choices, and you'll have individuals who, if you hear, oh, I'm vegan or I'm pescatarian, immediately it's almost like you're met with this apprehensiveness for you to explain why did you choose to do this and why you feel like it's better for you to eat only this versus a normal diet. And what does a normal diet look like, And I feel like with all of these labels that we've had nowadays and the cultural shift behind just being more aware of what you eat is kind of creating a space where you don't know how to share content like that because you don't know who you are pissing off, you don't know who you're drawing near, you don't know what kind of conversation it sparks,
Yeah.
But with the platform that you have, I think you've really kind of found, I don't want to say the word niche.
Almost like a middle ground.
But you found the ground that is very respectful and it's very fun. The content, as you say, it invites people in and it makes you excited about the simplest dishes, but they're so delicious and they're so good for you as well.
And you know what I like about it too, Khalia, is that there's it doesn't come from the standpoint of I eat healthy, you don't, so you need to eat healthy, you need to eat like me. It's very much more educational, it's very much like I get it. You can eat what you want to eat, but maybe you should consider just adding some more green. It's more, I feel like your entire message is more about not switching out the entire diet to become a whole new thing, but it's more about introducing more whole foods into what you already eat.
Right.
Which
improving your existing diet.
Exactly.
That's a very good way to put it, improving your existing diet, because at the end of the day, what you're promoting is wellness through food.
Right.
And even if you weren't, displaying the plant-based food through Shibumi, even if you were looking at a different diet, it's still the same message that's being put across that a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot of people, but some people won't appreciate because of the label of it being plant-based or if it was a pescatarian diet that you're following. And that's what I mean when I say there's a lot of judgment with food, but your platform, outside of just Miss Jamaica World, I think your Wellness Wednesdays, it really and truly achieves what you're trying to do.
It's not, I'm Khalia, who is Miss Jamaica, who is a vegan, who is, it's like, I'm Khalia, someone who eats food. You should eat food too, I like that.
I think it's so interesting that you guys have come to that conclusion.
Really?
Yeah, I feel, I wasn't sure how well it was being received. Like, yes, I told you people said things, but to hear you so clearly communicate exactly what I'm trying to do, it really warms my heart.
You really
and guys, can I just say, I am not perfect. I am nowhere near perfect. I make it I don't eat meat. I started eating fish and seafood recently, by the way, updates on my diet.
Miss Jamaica World,
breaking news, you heard it here.
Public service announcement. Yes, Khalia now eat seafood.
It needs to be, because people think I'm some strict vegan.
But you did touch on that in season 2 to say that you're very flexible, even though you follow a specific diet. You aren't one of those persons that completely shut down other diets, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why your message comes across so well, because you're very respectful and you acknowledge all diets and you recognize the wellness in all diets and how people can introduce more for themselves.
Because I think that's the thing I noticed, for example, when I just started learning about how meat impacts the body and the benefits of cutting down on animal products in general. I was kind of weird. Like, I remember I had to stop myself, okay, then stop being so pushy with this. Remember that just a few months ago you were like these other people. And I realized sometimes vegans, vegetarians, whatever, health and wellness advocates forget that they were once in these people's positions. It's like they've become this completely new person that it's hard to even relate to them anymore. Whereas really just pull yourself back there, like put yourself in their shoes and communicate with them in a way that.
And I think that's
they
what's
can
missing
understand.
from a lot of food conversations is just the respect and acknowledgement that, hey, we've all started at a certain place and we've learned more as we've gone along and we've used this information for our wellness. So like on a personal level for me, because of the things that you've posted, I've been, incorporating the recipes and stuff, and now I try to do meatless at least once or twice a week. For at least one
Hashtag meatless Monday.
Yeah, so sometimes the meatless come on Wednesday, but that's okay.
Whenever I come, it comes.
I do try to do meatless.
Yeah, so I will do like a soup and a salad for lunch, and what I find is that when I eat the big whole heap of heavy food in the middle of the day, the fried chicken and the rice and peas, man.
No man, you feel better.
You feel so much
nice.
better.
You
right?
feel nice when you eat.
And even
like,
if physically you don't, your mind can say, so you just eat a good meal a while ago, you feel good about yourself. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Big up Uncorked for the soup and the salad every time.
How many people were big enough in the one episode?
So
I love that though. I think that's so important. I was speaking to Karim about it earlier. Boy and things for people who don't
big
know
up
what
boy
I'm
and
talking.
things.
Big up boy and things. The 10th big up. Yes, he was like, I don't think I could. Sometimes he tells himself, maybe I should go vegetarian for a month, and he just can't wrap his mind around it. I'm like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
What about just trying? I don't even like meatless because I'm starting to realize it doesn't have to be meat. It doesn't have to be vegetarian. It can be a smaller quantity of meat. What
it could also just be smaller quantity, but it could also be not fried.
Right.
It could
More
also be
wholesome.
ethically sourced.
Yes.
Something that you know where the meat is coming from, so it don't
That's
pump
a
up
very
with
good,
hormones.
That's a very good point that
you
you're
know?
making, and I think what Wellness Wednesdays does is exactly that. It introduces you to something else that you can say, instead of me going to the supermarket, go buy the jar of tomato sauce.
Make it yourself.
Make it yourself.
Make it
Look,
yourself.
last week Wednesday, Khalia posted a video, right? And all she do is she boil the tomato, she peel it off, and she use the immersion blender.
Hold on. Pause. Khalia, you see, when tomato is done boil, I did this.
The satisfaction.
I was like, we're gonna boil a tomato and just do that right now.
Yeah, you know how many takes I did with that, by the way? Sometimes I was doing this and it wasn't good. I was like, no, come again. Pick up the next one.
Let me tell you, it hit home, man. It hit home. So
It was so satisfying.
that's something that we need to, people need to recognize is it's wellness and treating yourself better or healing yourself. It's not about sticking to a strict diet. Just like how Karim explained to you, a lot of people think that you have to make this big change and it have to be so drastic. You have to meatless for an entire month, you have to fish only for an entire month. But just changing one thing or one meal it don't have to be for an entire day. You can have your breakfast and say for lunch, maybe eat something different. And dinner you eat something different. And it's just about being mindful of what you're putting into your
Because
body.
that's not typical, meaning if we look at how people function on a daily basis, just going through life, they're not trying to cut down on things that's okay. Yes, if you're on a health and wellness journey and you're trying to take care of yourself, yes. But just people who do business and going for convenience, they're not making those subtle changes. And if you do, trust me, they add up. As you said, you have the light meal and you're like, whoa, I feel different.
Man, trust me.
Maybe another day you'll say,
Yeah.
I don't feel for the fried chicken today because I know what it could feel like if I have something else.
And another thing you mentioned, convenience. A lot of people's meals are centered around that factor only. And convenience meaning time and money sometimes too. So for me, I work sometimes 12 hours a day. So what my lunch looks like is whatever is convenient and available and quick for me to just snack on or just eat on the go. And it's not healthy because what happens to me is sometimes I miss breakfast. I may eat this big fried chicken and rice and piece of curry gravy in the middle of the day.
And then you have to lie down.
Yeah, I have to lie down, but then I still have 6 or 7 hours more
left
to
of
go,
work.
and it don't help me when I feel like a slob, And then imagine doing that every single day. It affects everything around you. Your energy is low. You're miserable. You can't sleep well at night.
It's a cycle.
Of course, it's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
But what Wellness Wednesdays does is show you that even when you have a very busy schedule, these are little things that you can incorporate into your diet just to make it a little easier for yourself.
Yeah.
Big up Wellness Wednesdays, big up Heal. Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
and I must say, it's just it's very refreshing. As somebody who I think I grew up around diet culture, unfortunately, because I was always the chubby child. So there was a lot of, me growing up, I knew all of the diets. I knew what a low carb diet was by the time I was like 10. These are things that like have been so deeply ingrained, and I feel like within the diet culture world, the diet industry, there's always, as you said, it's like there's this idea of depravity, right? And it's like, you need to cut this out, you need to cut out meat, you need to cut out sugar, you need to cut out this. It's very restrictive. And I mean, I myself, at my big age, is learning how to deconstruct that.
It's hard
it's
though
very
when it
hard.
happens from such a young age to reverse all of that.
Unlearning is very
hard, but it's like, it's nice to know that, like, it's nice to see as somebody who is unlearning, and I'm sure I'm not the only person who is going through that. I know there are a lot of women and men who are now in their 20s and 30s and even 40s who are trying to unlearn a lot of the unhealthy food habits that they have. And so it's nice to see someone with a platform who is clearly into health and wellness, who is not saying #vegan, you have to do this, plant-based only, da-da-da-da-da,
But another good thing is Khalia is smart. She has sense, so the information that she's putting out there is very accurate. And I think what people don't realize too is it's not just, you can't look at something by itself. Meaning you have to see how it's connected with everything else, in that, just like how Tiana spoke about this low carb diet, people will look at specific diets like that and try to figure out which one is the right one and what is right from what's wrong, and then that's where the judgment comes in too.
You have to just learn everything in. My mother always used to tell me everything in moderation, but really and truly is not just soda in moderation. It's also like veggies need to be in moderation as well. Like rice needs to be in moderation. The meat needs to be in moderation. Like literally everything needs to have it. Because I mean, if you eat only plants alone, that can also put you in problems. Literally, it's literally, when people say everything in moderation, it's not just bad things in moderation. It is every single thing that you're putting in your body needs to be in balance. And I feel like I say all of that to say I love wellness Wednesdays, and I love what you're doing, and I think it's really, I can imagine that it will be very helpful to a teenage girl who is looking at you as Miss Jamaica World, and come on, let's be real. Miss Jamaica World, people assume it's all about the beauty, it's all about being small and pretty, and I think it must be so empowering for a teenage girl, or even not even a teenager, because these little children on Instagram and those things now. But it must be so nice and refreshing for them to have like a role model like you, who is, you're not pushing anything and you're not making it seem like you fit this unrealistic standard. You're very real, you're very down to earth, and you're very transparent about food and health and wellness. And I think it's bigger than I think your reach is bigger than And proud of you, girl.
So what next for you? Meaning you have this platform and you have Wellness Wednesdays that's on the heel. Is there any other initiatives that you're really passionate about, or anything else that you want to do?
Well, I was saying it to Tiana before that this is what I'm doing on a personal level. Just Khalia, nobody is paying me to do this. But I'm reaching people, I'm reaching my Instagram following, but the regular Jamaican is not getting this information. And I think in order to reach those people, which is the most important thing really and truly, unless we'll never change the statistics around non-communicable diseases, literally killing off our population, it would have to be some kind of campaign, through Ministry of Health. Heart Foundation of Jamaica, bless them, are doing great work. I don't even think people recognize how much they're fighting for out of public interest. Front of package labeling, that is so powerful.
I was actually gonna say we should do an episode on front of package labeling, because that's a big thing going on now with heart.
It's
for
important.
Sure.
people don't know when you turn it around and you see percentages and
like what does that mean?
You don't know.
A lot of that, that's the thing.
We don't learn it.
Exactly. So what is the point of you putting all of these statistics or the information, the data on the label? People can or cannot read it, but even if I read it, what does this mean to me? Okay, I'm consuming 500 trans fat. What does that mean? What does that translate to? How is that good or bad for me? I personally, without my personal research or me being curious and needing to know, I wouldn't understand what the label was reading.
And the reality is not everybody has the resources to do personal research either.
Prior to or just the time it would take to literally calculate every single thing you buy from Imagine you finish work and you go into the supermarket and you have to be checking each thing you buy to see if it meets certain requirements. So no, they're doing great work there, and I learned from them that that's the biggest way you can make an impact. It's not through, obviously the groundwork is important, but it's through policy change. That is where the population does have to, do what they need to do. Companies have to change certain things to fit it.
And it's achievable. Look at what happened. I don't remember the year, but there was a huge shift when they reduced the amount of what do you call it again?
The sugar.
Yeah, it was a sugar ban. So what they did is that they looked at the percentage of sugar in each juice, and based on that, they would decide how much the school is allowed to have in supply per day or per week. And it reduced the amount that children are consuming, obviously because of the way in which it was implemented. And it was something that I'm not sure about the success rate because I don't have access to that information, but that push it was in the right direction, and it signified to us that there is some form of change that can happen or is coming in the future for the wellness of kids, and that's where it starts. Your habits that we spoke about, on learning habits and the unhealthy diet.
Start them from young.
We start them from young. We start them from young. We allow them to recognize that, hey, what you're consuming might not be the best. You can't just get up and drink a Pepsi like Tiana every day.
Big call out. Loud out.
Tiana used to drink Pepsi, not notice.
That is true. That is true. But guys, also another thing, I try now to not have not have soda in the week. So that's my thing. I'm trying to not have soda in the week, but then I reward myself on the weekends, which is 2 out of the 7 days.
That is great.
So even a little change like that,
it's a push in the right direction.
If you did something like you cut it off completely, which is what we're
saying
before, it's not healthy.
That's what I did, because let me tell you about withdrawal. You think people only withdraw from crack and them think that no, sugar is addictive. Sugar is
I don't realize until, so what happened to me, I went through a period where I had no soda at all. It's like I just cut it out completely. I would have only natural juices and water. And one day I take a sip of one Pepsi and the piece of chocolate.
It just feels, let me tell you, you feel like how you would imagine
your face right now. You're looking up to the ceiling like, God.
You feel like how you would imagine a drug addict coming back. Like alcoholic. When I have done that. Like I have cut out. So I remember one year I did do it for Lent. I cut out soda for Lent. It's the day after Lent when we get that first sip. I was like,
the good Friday.
Like I could feel the Pepsi running through my veins.
You actually feel it. I was like,
though, can I just say, if it no, it's not during the week, right?
Yeah.
Say you get to a point where you wean yourself off of it completely. When you have it shocks you in a bad way. Like now when I have soda, it's like it burn on my throat, all like the chest.
Which is why I don't think I ever want to wean myself completely off of it, because I do. It is generally something that I do enjoy, and.
You're my Pepsi now.
I have one life to live, Kelly. I'm not gonna stop drinking. Especially because I'm not one of those people who drink a lot of sugary drinks. I really and truly only really like Pepsi and Dr. Pepper, if we're being honest. Like I don't even really drink juice. Okay. So it's like that's like my one non-water guilty pleasure.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. One life to live, city. But at the end of the day, you still feed into what Khalia is promoting. Being mindful of what you consume. Recognizing that your diet is really personal, when you think about it. No matter how you label it, your body reacts to what you put in there and what you determine is fit for it.
And everybody is different.
And you alone know what makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You alone know what makes you feel good.
Yeah.
I'm doing a nutrition course now. I want
to.
So that's another thing on the list. But something I learned doing it is they call it bioindividuality, and I had never heard about it before. But it's basically like there's no one set diet.
Yeah, exactly.
You, Tiana, there is no way like you're brought up sis or your your childhood, your culture,
your genes,
just everything, your palate, like everything is so different from me and Ashley. We're all so different. Certain things will affect your body differently. Maybe if you try to go vegetarian and you had the beans just mess up your stomach.
Girl, let me tell you, beans make me too. Like I can't manage the bag of beans. I cannot manage the bag of beans.
I've heard it changes over time though. Like you can like
exactly whatever you
I'm not sure though, but let's just say something that just doesn't sit well with you. It just don't work for you, you know? So
yeah, that's true. Because even I can give you an example. Like I'm not a big breakfast eater. I've honestly never been. Even from high school, I never really used to eat breakfast.
Right.
The most I would have is like a piece of fruit maybe and some tea. And my boyfriend, Bradley, is him big on breakfast. Like him, they can't start unless he eat breakfast. Don't talk to him till he eat breakfast. And
the passion that you're saying, I understand.
I'm not surprised. I will message Bradley at certain time in the morning. I'm not getting no response.
You have to eat breakfast first. And like he thinks it's so like he's always encouraging me that I should eat breakfast. And I'm like, I genuinely don't like how I feel when I eat breakfast. Like, especially when I have to eat breakfast and then go and work. My belly kind of I get this kind of sour, oily, like my face feels oily even though I just washed it in the morning. Like, it's a very strange feeling and I don't like it. And that is why I don't know if it's because I've just gotten accustomed to not eating breakfast, but it just don't sit right with me. And I tell people the only time I really eat breakfast is when I'm on vacation, and that's because after I eat breakfast, I can lie down a bit. But otherwise, no, nowadays I just have a cup of water. And
there's so much evidence for bioindividuality. Even when you look at exercising,
it's everything, by the way. It's not just food. It's exercising, mental health. Like
there is no way, even if let's say me and Tiana are the same height and we weigh the same thing, there's no way one workout for me is gonna achieve the same thing for her.
No.
You know, and it comes back to the same thing: is finding what's right for you and always being mindful that hey, these are the healthy options and this is how you can incorporate it.
But that's what I think. I think people are always looking for a quick fix.
That's true.
You know?
And we're marketed too.
And we're marketed the quick fixes.
Exactly.
And I think in general people don't spend enough time learning about their own body.
Yes.
I think a lot of people look on social media, and even before social media, they look on TV, they look in magazines,
well, I'm
media.
definitely guilty of it.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, the Beyonce diet. Beyonce, what she did do? She
the
did
ice diet.
she did do something with
The ice diet?
We call it the ice diet because she literally stopped eating so many things.
That was for homecoming.
So
that was for
she had the
Coachella.
twins. She literally was like, no sugar, no carbs, no this, no that. And they were like, oh, she eats ice on air.
But let me tell you, no man, when she was in Dreamgirls, I think, don't quote me, but when she was preparing for something, and there was this big diet. I know this because I did it, guys. I'm gonna be honest, okay? But it's like all you do is drink. I think it's water mixed with lemon, cayenne pepper, and honey, and that's all you drink for 5 days.
No food?
No food.
You don't drop down after day too?
No blending?
No blended, nothing.
No fruits for little
sugar. So you're literally fasting?
It's literally a fast. I did it for 3 days. I did not last for 3 days because my roommate did come back with some cake, and she was like, I brought some cake for you, girl, and I was like, please.
Outside of you breaking the diet for the food, how did you feel?
Yeah.
How did it?
I felt hungry. What you mean? I was hungry.
No, because I don't remember. I told you about this juice that I drank.
Yeah, you did juice. I have juice as well.
Juice is different though.
Yeah, juice is a bit different.
That's how I
liquid
know
food.
exactly, but that's how I know that everybody body is different because I couldn't survive on it. Meaning,
you were having enough though?
I followed it. No, so it was
one of those that you buy.
So
I ordered here in Jamaica where you order and they send you.
And they give you proper instructions that this is the first one, this is the second one, this is how much time you must have between them, and yada yada yada. And I followed it to a T. I'm gonna tell you something. So I reached buckle number 5. Ashley did lay down in the middle of the living room and I said, no, she's just like a dead. That was the name of the barbecue, big stale.
You saw yourself out.
Because I didn't make it and I said, oh, I can have it tomorrow. And then Tiana came by and eat it and we said it tastes so good. I was like, well,
it did taste very good.
Sorry, what day was this?
It was a Sunday.
No, day what of the juice fast?
Day what?
I'm clarifying.
Yeah, no, so it's
like you never make it past there.
Kayla, we couldn't pass the afternoon yet about day 1. Because I think the one that I was doing, it was a 1-day thing where for the entire day, you just have the juice. And that's the one where you don't eat anything in between.
Yeah,
so you don't have no fruits, no snacks. But it was substantial juice in that after the first and second one, it's not like I feel very hungry. But
there is something about the action of chewing.
Yes, yeah, I don't know what it is.
It is scientifically, your body does not for everybody, of course we're talking about bioindividuality, but there is a science with chewing and mastication that links and tells your brain that you are eating. So when you're just drinking, even though you're drinking calories, your body is not fully understanding that you have eaten. And so that is why
so
the
message to the brain don't recognize you're eating,
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be because
so that's
in my head, when I say drink water or juice throughout the entire day, so it's not like I'm saying I'm having a blended meal that I'm just drinking in that manner. But boy, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me, and I knew that after I think it was between the lunch or the mid lunch and dinner bottle that I say, you know what? It's not everything that people do. You must expect for it to work for yourself. Right. You can try it, but that's all part of the learning and unlearning. And also learning what works for your body.
If it don't work for you,
that's okay.
And that's how I feel like, especially as women, if we do a diet and we fail, it's like lot of mercy. We're not good enough. Beyonce could do it and me can't do it. Why me can't be like Beyonce, Lord Jesus? This is why Beyonce is a billionaire and I'm not a billionaire.
Yeah. But and then you spiral.
And then you spiral, but really and truly, Beyonce is a different person. She grew up in a completely different country with a completely different genome than me. It's so complex, and I think we are not very forgiving with our own selves, and we don't take the time to learn what works and what doesn't work. And
that's why we spend more time searching for these quick fixes than we do experimenting. And I think we would learn a whole lot. Just try different things. Sure, try this, so maybe it does your body well, and then if it doesn't, change something. I mean, you'll notice what works and doesn't work. Yeah. Like I feel good or I don't feel so good here.
Yeah.
To be honest, I feel like even courses like food and nutrition that some high schools have, not everybody has it. So knowledge like this, you don't learn from an early age. For us at Camden, we never had food and nutrition. We never had home economics course.
That's true.
Which blows my mind, because when you get anything, you get a set of instructions on how it works. Look how you just put the mind together, right? We are born into this world with these complex bodies. And we don't know how it works. We don't know how it works. We don't know how to feed it.
Yeah. And it's not even just food. Anything. We don't know how far it works. And it's like only people who, even with like the way how school is, like only people who did bio, only men that did bio know about the female reproductive system. That crazy. That is crazy.
So for a person like me, I did science up to third form and never again. How am I supposed to know?
Sometimes I forget that. Like sometimes I'm talking to you about things and I forget that you are not a science student.
Yeah, but I have to learn on my own, and that's how you and I can have the conversation, because I have to learn about myself, and that's where the bioindividuality comes in. But had I had a foundation, for example, that teaches me the general or the basic stuff, then I could use that as my baseline and say, okay, how does this work for me?
Yeah.
And that is what you are doing. You're exposing what people can know, what the different options are, and say, it's not a one size fits all.
Yeah. Food, nutrition, health, and wellness, even mental health.
It's a personal journey. It's a personal journey.
I also think in terms of the diet thing, no particular diet has ever been properly proven to be effective.
It's to be superior to something else.
No.
What has been proven is that a diet that is, majority plant-based, whole foods, smaller portions of meat. Meat is in some of the healthiest diets in the world, like Mediterranean diet.
And it's how it's prepared, really.
That's how it's prepared. And fat is not an enemy. It's what is the source of fat,
Yeah.
Look at one of the best sources of fats is avocado. Do people even know that? People use avocado in their diet to put the healthy fats in.
And them not even know. They don't even know. But so I guess to wrap this up, because we've been chatting on for a while. But I guess in the end, so we know that you took a break. You had to take a break from being Shibumi boss to focus on
Come into the
Miss
next
Jamaica. You had to spend some time in the evolution. But Shibumi is back, or Shibumi was back last
when we sit though, it happened like it full of like
Mr. Khalia, when I take the first bite of the food, I said, wow. I cannot believe I was missing this for so long.
One of my favorite things I love your pumpkin pasta. It's one of the best.
It was my first time having the pumpkin pasta.
I love the pumpkin pasta. I love the focaccia bread. I know Tiana's not a very big fan of the bread, but I love the focaccia bread.
Oh God, I don't believe that for you. Remember I told you I was going to?
It's okay, girl. It will happen. I love the bulgur though. I can't wait for the bulgur come back.
You're giving me ideas for next week, menu. No, it's literally the hardest part for me is coming up with the menu. And people, my friend Sammy and Shauna, who helps in the kitchen, they're like, hey, them like the same thing. Them have like they don't have to stress out.
Especially because you don't do it every day.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely eat the same things every week.
Exactly.
So to me, it's just like, this is my Friday meal.
So if the menu look the same every week, trust me. But
I'm not stressed.
That corn bread.
Shibumi is back, but not full time, not every week. It's more like on a pop-up basis. So did it last week, didn't do it this week because stuff came up. Doing it. Did I say next week? Did I say that?
Well, if you never said before, you're doing it next week.
I'm doing it next week. Ashley gave me an idea of cornbread.
Put him on early. As soon as the menu drop.
Oh my God, a story time also. Last week I burned myself. I always burn myself in the kitchen. I have a little burn here, it's kilo. I burnt myself on my thigh. I was taking something out of the oven and it just touched my thigh. And it healed, or it's in the shape of a crown. I'm going to show you. It's so cool! Literally, that's why I was like, is this a sign from God?
That's so funny.
That is awesome.
Proper crown, even.
No, I love it.
Not like a faint.
No, you don't have to tattoo it, so when them take with the crown, you still have it.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. So guys, follow Khalia on Instagram to keep up with #Wellness Wednesdays.
And more things to come under the Heal Initiative. We're also excited to see more.
And follow Shibumi. Shibumi JA.
Shibumi JA.
Follow Shibumi JA because every week, well not every week, on a pop-up basis they'll have plant-based, deliciously filling meals. Trust me, you won't regret it. Even if it's not something,
nice.
Even if it's not something that you're going to incorporate into your every week. Trust me.
Try it one time.
Try it one time.
No, try one time.
Try one time.
You're really
and saleswoman.
one time. You really and truly don't know till you know.
You don't
know till you know.
If you know, you know.
But you see when you take the first bite.
No man.
You see when you did that barbecue, man.
Which barbecue? Oh,
when you did like the cornbread and I think what was it again? There was like the coleslaw. Yes,
there was coleslaw.
I mean, I remember, but yeah, I think it was a barbecue beans, the barbecue Shibumi ball,
and something.
And you put the tamarind sauce on it.
That tamarind sauce, you need to start selling tamarind.
No, for real, okay, yeah. The tamarind sauce, buddy. So when you put the tamarind sauce on the burger.
Oh, and that's another request. People have been begging.
My mom loves.
Everybody.
My mom had one bite of the burger and she loved it.
The burger is
so the next time we're gonna be like, I'm gonna send it Collins.
No man.
No.
Last week was so bad, by the way, in terms of just shocking how I was surprised how quickly orders came
I
in.
did not get an order in because of it, and then you never had somebody have like leftovers, and you say, guys, there's one left. That's what I was looking forward to.
So no. My parents asked me in advance, they're like, Khalia, please send down 2 lunches on that. Mommy was so big. She was like, Khalia, I'm your mother. I was like, Mommy, I can't do anything. Unless I go and call up some
From the time we used to go Kingston Night Market for
yes.
always there, and you don't send the food for disrespect.
next week.
Yes, definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, but yeah, guys, so Khalia, it was so nice having you. Always super nice having you here in the Wonga studio.
The new space. I love it.
As usual, guys, be safe in these streets. Curfew and them thing they lift up now, but still be safe.
And remember that COVID still exists, and there are people around us who are not vaccinated, and no judgment. But you always consider those who are probably not as fortunate as you are, who are not as healthy as you are. We're talking about our older parents, our older grandparents, and our extended family. So
and all the immunocompromised people as well.
And we encourage you all to try something new. So you read so many things about these diets, and you really and truly never know if it worked for you until you try, and be like,
don't knock it till you try it. Don't knock it till you try it. Eat what you grow to eat. Mask up, sanitize,
social distance.
What else in the leave?
So many things.
So
many things. Follow WongaGyal on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
And WongaGyal the podcast.
Yeah, and follow Wonga Pod to keep up with all of the podcast updates.
And the shenanigans.
Khalia, do you have any last words?
I want to thank you guys for having me again, for inviting me on.
Couldn't be season 3 without the Miss Jamaica World. Come on.
No, honestly, for the sweet and thoughtful words, for even caring to keep up with, the journey.
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
It really does.
You are very welcome.
All the support is always here for you.
Always.
We believe in it. We believe in you, and it's a very good cause. It's a great initiative.
I think it's one thing when you have a friend who doing something, but it's another thing when you have a friend who doing something that you believe in. And I feel like we believe
it's important, and we go push it too. We go push it.
All right, guys, we'll catch you later.
Bye.
Bye. Princess wave or queen wave.